Hey everyone, John Henry here from School of Trade, and today we're going to be taking a look at a short position here on crude oil. Let me get my stop placed here. By stop, we have 4 contracts. First target's just going to be right down here, and we're actually going to take off 3 of the contracts there. Final target's going to be just ahead of this 27. We'll actually go to 30. And that'll be our final target down here. Now, the reason I'm really liking this trade is we just had crude oil shoot almost straight up. And that was after a move out of this consolidation from yesterday where it was just, back and forth and we really didn't go anywhere. And it was just kind of a choppy, sloppy mess yesterday after that open. It dropped off and then just went nowhere. It had the low down here at 103.19 and the consolidation high was over here at 103.60. Now, this is the first attempt that the buyers are really trying to hammer this move out, and you can see they did it quite successfully. They pushed just immediately higher here. Now, the reason I'm taking this short instead of looking for a continued long on this pullback is just because they've overdone themselves. They've shot way too high up, and you can see that starting kind of focus on the rejection just from seeing these wicks here. But just keeping that aside, this is the first attempt that we're coming out of the consolidated area, and typically no breakout of consolidation ever really works the first time. Now, in this case, it did work for a decent amount higher, but I'm still expecting it to fail right back down to the lows again. Now, along with that, inside of this big burst candle that we had here, we had a double bottom, 2 inside bars that are just getting flatter and flatter there, and that's showing us that the accumulation from the sellers are heavily coming in at these highs here. You can see this is all taking place inside that big candle's wick there. So I'm looking to get short just underneath those lows here. 103.91 is our short entry, 4 contracts, taking the first 3 off at 103.79. Now, the reason I'm choosing 103.79 is just because that was where the initial area came into place. That's where that's where the open of that big bursting candle came in. And typically when you have those big burst candles, this goes for news too, but anything like that, whenever you come back to those areas, it's typically where you're going to see a little bit of protection from that area. Now, if they can start breaking below that, we might have a case for a relatively big runner here. And you can see they're trying. They're breaking below that candle's low here at 103.76. So we got our first target off, 3 contracts off right here at 12 ticks. So currently right now, just on the trade, we're actually sitting up 36 ticks, looking for the final contract all the way down here back to those lows again. Now, our stop is to break even, so we're perfectly protected on the trade, nothing to worry about there. Let me just copy paste these a few times here. And get that over there. So now we know that we took 3 off there for 12, and now we're just looking for that final contract down here. Now that final contract, really what we're looking for in this final move is just a retest of yesterday's low. And the reason why I really like that area is that's also the lows of that consolidation. So typically, again, those first breakouts, a few times, they typically don't work. And even when they do, they typically come right back down to retest those areas. And we can see this over and over. Back here yesterday, we formed this consolidation zone through here. They broke out and it failed, came right back up again. Then they attempted to break out again, failed, went right back out again. So they tried the opposite side, broke out the highs, failed right back down again, broke out the lows, fell right back in again, broke out the lows again, and now we're actually going through the highs with a little bit of conviction. And, if this was just a move that came up and then pulled back down here to retest and then go, I could see that would be okay. But in this case, we've just had too much. There was too much that came into this move. So I'm expecting it to fall right back down again to revisit these lows. Now, our target's down here at 103.30 because that's the lowest candle's close point right here. And anywhere really in this zone is applicable. You can target the lows. I'm more conservative, just at my personality, so I'm going to target the close instead. But our target's just ahead of that 103.30. Now, if it does collapse like we're thinking it will, that's going to give us a 61 tick runner on that final move. Now, the reason I'm not holding more into this is because I don't know that's going to happen. If I know that it's going to collapse, then yeah, by all means, I'm definitely going to hang on to 100 contracts. I'll be happy to take. But I want to get my scalp portion off first. So I've got those first 3 off at 12. Now we're just seeing if the market wants to give us that last little push. In this case, I say little, I mean 61 tick push. Now, this move may take some time here. It's this initial breakout, not really surprised to see that happen quickly. But a move all the way back down to the previous lows, that can take some time. So what we'll do is we'll be back in a little while here, and we'll see what the trade wants to do. All right, just coming back for a quick update here. We just had a really nice, basically if you had more contracts to spare, you could definitely hop in again right below this candle. And the reason behind that is we had a huge bull trap up here and immediately shot right back below it again. So I'm actually going to lock my stop in just above that. I'm not expecting price to I'm not expecting price to revisit that area, and apparently they have the same idea. We're just collapsing right now. So catching that really strong burst. Again, when you see these kinds of setups, we had this big burst higher, got that first target off, and then we started really dropping lower. The buyers are seeing this. Well, we just broke out of this consolidation, so I should be buying when we come back to retest that, right? So they're going to buy above that candle, and their stop is going to go below that swing low. And it's a really easy visual of why. That's why I said, looking short, if you have more contracts, look short underneath 103.47 or so, because if they get stopped out, you're going to have a nice little push down. That's exactly what happened. Now, because this is a little bit of a trap right here, I'm not expecting price to come back to that location, and you can see the sellers wholeheartedly agree with that move. We're coming back down to revisit those lows. Now, in this case, we came 2 ticks away from our target here, but again, remember, our target's conservative. We're a few ticks off the lows. I'm still expecting price to revisit these lows between 327 and 319. So even though we came a few ticks away from our target, we didn't really come that close to where we are expecting price to go. And in this case, it pushed right back down into that area, fills our target down here. Let's see if they can get that 103.27, but our target's taken care of, so we're out of the trade. Let's just cancel our stop there. And that's going to be the trade. I mean, absolutely gorgeous trade. We already had the 36 ticks locked in. So if we take those 36, add that 61 that we just banked, we're at 97 ticks. So $970 on the trade. Just a gorgeous little short trade there. Now, most likely you're seeing a little bit of bouncing just because of this wick right here. That was the next swing low that we're kind of running into a little bit here, but still expecting to push down into these lows. Maybe not breaking to a new low, but potentially maybe a double bottom around 103.19. But we'll see what the sellers have in store. We're out of the trade, 97 ticks. Definitely happy with that. So that's going to be the trade for today. If you have any questions about it, feel free to send an email with School of Trade. And don't forget to check out our trial at schooloftrade.com. Have a good one. Bye.